Welcome everyone to our today webinar about how AI can help in hypertension management. Today we have Kaya who is managing our chat, preparing and answering any questions you may have. My name is Remi Kościelny. I'm CEO and co-founder of Shen AI, the Estonian startup in a space of camera-based technologies for AI monitoring. With me, I have Leo today. Hello, Leo.
Hi, hello. I'm Leo Rosenbaum, and I'm the co-founder of Hattori, the app for hypertension management, for hypertensive care, and we use a lot of AI. That's why I'm here.
Yes. Actually, we are cooperating each other for some time, bringing different views on the same topic. That's why we thought it will be like a fantastic, let's say, a way to share what we are building together. So I think before we go into details, maybe we spend some time painting, well, how large the problem is.
Yeah. Well, just to start with some numbers, I promise I will not bore you with them, but basically hypertension is the most widespread and the deadliest chronic disease in the world. Some 16% of the world's population have hypertension. This corresponds to about up to half of the population in the United States and roughly 30% average hypertension prevalence in Europe.
Even worse, as we know, like 36, so almost half of these people are not even aware that this problem exists, right?
Yeah, and this leads to roughly 10 million premature deaths a year.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot, and I think not only like a hypertension, like on its own, having like this, let's say, impact, but also untreated, which might be the cause that it's undiagnosed. This is like a single most, let's say, significant factor of a serious heart diseases and failures.
Definitely.
Yeah, so problem is big.
The problem is big, and that's why just of its sheer size, it is often called the public health problem, not just a disease. And also due to its typically asymptomatic nature, it's sometimes referred to as the silent killer, which in plain terms means that you don't feel anything, and then you get a heart attack, and then you die.
Yeah.
If
So
untreated.
that's unfortunately true. Is that like with the old, traditional, let's say, tools, it seems that with this increasing number of people affected, as well, like in general health, which is going well, not maybe in the direction we all would like to see, and healthcare, let's say, that is facing so much of like problems ahead. Those type of, let's say, digital health and AI tools can be helpful. Yeah, but before we go to the tools, I think it will be maybe beneficial first to walk everyone through actually what can be done to manage the hypertension. Like, what are the main areas of such care?
Yeah, the main areas of hypertension management or hypertension care are, well, as we just mentioned, the diagnostics. That's because if you don't know that you have it, you obviously don't manage it. It often comes together with monitoring, because once you diagnose, you have to get irregular monitoring of your blood pressure. Another important area is adherence, medical adherence. This is about how good you are at eating pills. Then food or nutrition, physical activities, stress, and sleep. These are the sort of the main areas of a comprehensive hypertension management, and they have to be applied at once, all of them, to achieve the proper effect.
Exactly, and then very likely, like presuming the nature of the, let's say, the reality we are all facing, this solution needs to be very easy to use, right? And I think such solution being installed in a smartphone, which unfortunately, maybe sometimes fortunately, everyone all the time. This is like the way to go, right? So the app, such as Heartery, is like let's say this hub, or this like a everyday, let's say, experience that people may have. Yeah.
That's actually what happened when we integrated your face scan, Remy. Because
Okay.
now some 40% of our users use the face scan as the main feature. And this shows the way how monitoring can be done at a different level, because you can basically do it anywhere. You don't need to forget anything. You don't need to schedule anything. But also it paves the way to the future, because today we have it in the smartphones, but tomorrow we can have it installed in stores, or at the airports, just anywhere where you pass. It can be it can be deployed as an agent that will come and leave of your smartphone.
All right. So the first stage is the, let's say, as early as possible diagnosis, and then, well, maybe somehow correlated once diagnosed, like a monitoring, like I think twice a week. Yeah, I think this is the, let's say, the way that the people with this condition should be measured, the blood pressure. And then here, like well, I felt like a call to the board. So here, like Shen AI, this part of the AI we do is very helpful, right? So I will just share something. So this is the recording I have done earlier today. That's actually how our technology works, right? So it works on any smartphone or computer. It provides blood pressure, heart rate, but many more, 30 altogether health metrics from a single a minute scan of the face. That's it. So you don't need any additional hardware. The only thing you need is a smartphone and a little bit of time. And it's very convenient. Like we pay really so much attention not only to the accuracy itself, which is important, but let's say in the home care use for the triage, or for the, let's say, detection, like the accuracy we are having today, which is like a 7 to 10 millimeters of mercury, is like enough to actually make the see the difference. Yeah. And that's it. I mean, the measurement is quick, easy to use, and then there is some additional information, like on the health cards that we are actually providing after the scan. So each of these markers are explained with the norms and with notification if something is off. And up until this moment, so all of these vital signs actually are provided purely from the video scan, entirely on the user device. And then we are having this additional health indices and risks section. For this, we need some additional information to be provided by hand. And here, not only we provide cardiovascular risks based on the Framingham study, but also body composition and metabolic indices we'll be talking later. Yeah, and that's one of the other, let's say, aspects of the well, care. Yeah. So that's how easy it is. Like it takes a minute and it can be done everywhere. Obviously, it needs to follow like the same guidelines of blood pressure measurement as traditional cuff, right? So people cannot, walk around or talk or do anything like this to perceive the accuracy we provide. So that's number one. Yeah. So early diagnosis with this accessibility and everyday management. Yeah. And then what's next?
Yeah, the next is medical adherence. But before I go into this, Remy, I want to draw yours and our audience's attention to another interesting possible application of AI, and that is in predictive analytics of hypertension. We are only in the start of this, but there are several projects that attempt to predict your hypertension by means of
interesting. But
now,
from like what kind of data like can be used for such prediction?
yeah, it's all in the very early stage. So I'm not claiming that they have achieved much result there, but at least the people are working in this. So now about medical adherence. I mean, hypertension is, of course, unfortunately, about eating pills morning and evening. And for I'm interviewing patients now, hypertensive patients in the hospital nearby, and to do the Danish app. Harter is based in Denmark, and we are. Quite a few people tell me about various small and big issues relating to eating pills at regular time of the day. That's why what we did in Hattori, because you see, the Hattori is a collection of tools that allow you to that ensure support in the challenges that are typical for hypertensive sufferers. We have interviewed over 150 patients prior to launching this app, and this approach worked because in the last 3 months we have acquired over 15,000 users. What for adherence for the pills, we have introduced the medical adherence questionnaire. We have adapted it to be 8 yes and no questions. And then we combine it with the data from the reminders from the functionality where the user records if he or she has been eating pills. And in a result of this cross-section of data is analyzed by AI with the help of custom knowledge bases. And what the output is the very practical assessment of the user's pill-taking habits, very concrete, very specific. And results of what can be done.
All right, so that's number 2, yeah. And as we said before, like all of this can and needs to be like all together, not one by one. So that's number 2. Number 3 is it stress?
Number 3 is, yeah, let's talk about stress, because this is an area that everybody is talking about because everybody stresses. The thing is that there is a number of there has been quite a few attempts to apply digital health tools that come from mental health to the hypertensive care. There are 2 moments there that are specific for hypertensives. When your blood pressure, it is a medical fact that when your blood pressure rises, your mood goes down. It's not, of course, it's not a universal fact, but it is the pattern. And also the hypertensives they sort of become like a bit like teenagers. They're susceptible to sudden mood changes, subtle shifts. And of all tools that I have been researching into and all approaches that have been tried and found successful, the affirmative messaging proved to gain most results in the sheer number of millimeters mercury off. So what we did in Hattori, we made a tool that is in fact number 2 in popularity after your face scan, and it works in a very simple way. But I can say that the doctors, I showed it to some doctors, they were kind of skeptical, but users love it. What it does is that it gives you 3 random questions, like name 3 things that you love most, name 3 colors that you remember best from your childhood, name 3, I don't know, things that you consider as your achievements. You answer.
All right, that's
a very positive sort of push in the.
That's very clever and very actually easy to do. I'm just wondering that's like potentially actually using the same technology as we do. Perhaps like it would be even more effective, if you could objectively measure the stress that a person is currently at. right? So with Gen AI, we provide things like HRV, so which is heart rate variability. We provide a stress index, which is based on the Bayevsky method, along with parasympathetic activity and a few other smaller things that actually can measure this more of a physiological stress that our body is going through in a given moment. Yeah, so I think this could be also helpful, just maybe also to personalize, right?
It will be great to envisage such a tool where a user can, for example, if we combine what you just described with, let's say, assisted breathing. So while the user is doing this assisted breathing exercise, he or she can see
Exactly.
how the numbers of heart rate variability. This is how you rhythmic your heart beats. How it goes down. How your blood pressure, well, with the blood pressure, it will be a delayed effect, but how the stress index goes down.
Exactly, and for that kind of let's say setting, we have continuous mode, right? So far we have been talking like about one-time measurement of all of these vital signs, but besides we have this continuous mode that actually allow a user make the session, which may last for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or however long it needs to be. And during this session, like in the background or on the screen, there might be some additional, let's say, breathing exercises or relaxing exercises. And during this session, like actually, we provide this metrics, which is HRV, heart rate, breathing rates, like in the real time. Yeah. So as well, actually, we are having this opportunity because we have such high performance of the technology. We can render back some visual biofeedback, right? So you can actually use some visual representation how the heart is beating or how the breath is going up and down. Yeah. So that's another way to, and another feature you can use in this section of a stress. That was number 3. So we are in the middle.
Yeah. Yes.
Fourth, going to be diet, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, food, nutrition. It's like everybody is talking. I mean, everybody who takes on active hypertensive care of himself, herself, parents. That's a very typical situation. People start with food, and you know what? Right now, the attitude and the practice of with regards to food of the healthcare providers is rather fuzzy, because it's at the basis of like don't eat salty foods. I mean, salt is just as critical to stay under the particular recommended level.
Yeah, but what does it mean, salty?
As sugar for diabetics, right? So it's a very important to stay under 1,500 milligrams sodium, or let's not give those cryptic numbers. Just it's very important to stay under 5 grams of salt per day.
But there is some number, right? So and how a patient can actually assess how much of the sodium he intake.
Yeah, this is what we have achieved with our AI-based tool, Salt Monitor. It combines computer vision, AI recognition, and data pulling from official nutrient databases. So what happens is that you point your smartphone to any food in front of you, you take a picture, and AI recognizes the food and looks up, for example, in the American version, in the nutrient database that is in the United States called the US Department of Agriculture Food Data Central. And it looks for cholesterol, fats, and salt. And it simply returns the pretty correct assessment to the user, where the user, if the food is the user decides to consume the food, then okay, right, no problem, like save it, and you will see how much salt you have consumed during the day. It will allow you to stay under the limit. You always know where you are.
But that sounds to be very convenient again, right? So similarly to the scans, like this way of measuring the salt intake is just like so easy. Yeah, it's just like a look of the camera.
It is, but also, of course, I don't expect people, all my users going and checking all salt everywhere. It's not, we're people. There is another tool it's called Safe Food Alert. And basically, it is very simple. You point the camera to any food and it tells you if it's safe for you to eat if you are hypertensive or not. And it explains why. And here we also use AI. We just, besides the technologies that I've already mentioned, we have we have compiled the custom knowledge bases, and we do the search only in this basis.
Okay, clear. Then, like on the let's say side of the diet, this is like a one factor, but I guess not only here, but also like an important fact is, let's say, sugars and like let's say potential obesity, like in general, right? So this is something that actually leads to higher blood pressure, and if it's so, like needs to be potentially taken down as much as possible, right?
Definitely. That's why this efforts that you guys are doing with regards to body weight measurements, I think is very important.
Yeah. So here again, like not only we can provide a BMI with 94% of the accuracy, and just from the face, but also we have this panel of body composition information, right? So body fat percentage, waist to height ratio, basal metabolic rates. Those are the metrics already inside. And soon to come even more on this topic. So body shape index, basal metabolic rate, total daily energy expenditure. So those are the metrics actually that are providing this information for user in respect of her age, weight, and gender, and activity, and a few other factors, how much calories they should take each day. Yeah. Because normally, if there are always only some, like, let's say, very like only the norms that saying that, okay, this is for males, this is for females, and this is like a very broad.
Yeah, with AI we can become much more personalized.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so number 4, and let's go to number 5, which is going to be
physical activity.
Yes.
Physical activity. That's a very important thing, and quite a few hypertensives don't regard it as important. In fact, I recently talked to a patient who told me that she is simply afraid to exercise because she considers her heart broken as an engine in a car. And she said, I better keep it. I better don't drive it. I better sit on the couch, which is in fact the the opposite of what should be done, because not only you have to move in order to help your heart pump blood easier, because the easier your heart pumps blood, the less force it takes to pump blood, and this force is called blood pressure.
Exactly.
Besides that, there are exercises that in fact lower blood pressure. They are mostly high intensity.
Specific exercises?
Yes, the exercises who, let's say, belong to a particular genre of fitness, or let's call it these are the high intensity exercises where the aim is to raise your pulse to about 70% of the maximal.
All right, so zone 5, yeah, zone 5. It's just now like how do you know, is a person in zone 5 or is it not? So again, we can help, and with this like a short 5 seconds long HR readings, not only you can check is the any given exercise actually made correctly, but also you can actually personalize like because people are different, yeah, and like with this quick HR reading, you can make the following session or following exercise in the session more or less intense based on the HR.
Yeah, you can increase or decrease the level of intensity.
Yes,
Definitely, the workload by percent. And
yeah.
it's very important because, in fact, in order to reach the maximal blood pressure lowering effect, you not only you have to do those high intensity exercises, but you actually have to increase the load by on average 5% a month, but not once a month, but about once a week. So the tool that we have developed in the Hattery app, it uses only blood pressure lowering exercises from the custom knowledge basis we have done together with the Danish Physiotherapy Society, but also it increases the load gradually. The next step for us will be to introduce your face scan into each exercise, so that the user will be able to get at least the most, maybe not blood pressure, because the blood pressure actually rises when you do the exercises. Again, it's a delayed effect a couple of hours later, but all other important heart health metrics will help that woman from who I started, who is afraid for her heart, to see that nothing is wrong with her heart. Everything is fine right now.
Yeah. All right. So that's exercise and activity, let's say in general. And the last and the final sixth is sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, which I believe is not so much like important for physicians or anything like this. I mean, like there's like whole science like behind, and I think with wearables, well, we can know much better how well we recover, right, during the night. And actually, I can say for this kind of activity, obviously the different kind of data needs to be taken, so likely from wearables, and well, not only let's say phases of the sleep, which we know, but also like for instance like HRV, the night. I mean, it's different than the day HRV, but still like I was seeing clearly, for instance, while I was going through an infection, that my HRV was very low. Yeah, and my sleep recovery was same, not so well. And only then, when I started to recover from my infection, I see that HRV were going up, and the recovery was better. So it's clearly visible, yeah, if you look at that.
It's very interesting, but to be frank, I wouldn't spend too much time on it, simply because we know very little about sleep. For me, I mean, in my individual case, sleep is the number one risk factor for hypertension. One night I don't sleep, my blood pressure goes up.
That's interesting fact.
But we really know very little about it. What we know is that the data comes in, the relevant data is in wearables, because it's about motion tracking.
All right, so we went through all of them, and well, I think we should mention that Hattery is not so long on the market, only a few short months, but I think like a combination of these tools that have been chosen in a very good way brought very good results, like both on the decreasing of the average blood pressure, and as well as the engagement.
Yeah, we have the 10% retention on 30 days, which is about 4 times more than average health apps. It's people are using
that's fantastic results. I've been doing some mobile apps in the past, and I know that 10% day 30 is just a dream for most of them. So congrats, yeah. And on this medical level, like, have you already noticed, like, is let's say, using all these sets, all these 6 together, these tools corresponding to that, have you seen on the group of the people using the app that anything changed on their readings?
It's a very good question, because we had to develop special analytical module for this, because no other analytics talk about blood pressure. Basically, what we are noticing now, we have the data from mid-October, and we see that the users are reporting on average about 2.5 to 3 millimeters mercury reduction when using the app for longer than 1 month. And this in fact corresponds to the figures that I get from the research, that in general the digital health interventions into hypertension management, they achieve on average about 3, 4, I mean the high results are 5 millimeters mercury on average, and this is the when it's 5, it's already the level of front-end medications. Not that I want to substitute. It's important that the digital health tools support the what doctor tells you to do.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I think we are about at time to wrap it up. So as we gone through all this cycle, maybe now we are open the floor for questions. Okay, Kaya, can you? Yes, thank you. Dr. Patricia from Diagnostic Care. Everyone is seeing the question, so I won't read it out loud. Yes. Right now, Shen AI operates on the so-called real-world data. Yeah. So the readings from this device are same as from wearables which are not medical devices. Yeah. So for self-care, self-prevention, for virtual triage, with proper explanation that this is not a medical device and this should not be treated as a diagnosis, we can operate successfully. Although, like the long term, we can bring even more value with being a medical device. Yeah. So on the accuracy level, the AMAI actually norms saying that both of the systolic and diastolic needs to be below 8, and we are getting there. We are just about to start a final clinical trial for blood pressure BMI, and also we'll be introducing the calibration mode, right? So this will be new, and this will improve the accuracy of the measurements significantly. Yeah. So short question is that it depends on the use case. Like we can operate not being a medical device even now, as we do with dozens of customers. But the long-term goal for us that will increase our value is the medical device, and so we are in these processes both in Europe, in US, and then some other localizations. Okay, there's a question from Jan. Or do I get a? Yeah, so actually, professional platform consists all of the current and the future features of our technology, right? So today, the list is 28 health markers, including heart rate, blood pressure, respiratory rate, vascular age. There is like a list on the site, so I won't go one by one. And there will be more coming. I was talking about the more body composition indices. SpO2 will be soon in the tech, as well as by the end of the year HbA1c. So this will be maybe a different topic. Maybe next year we'll be having a webinar about diabetes and how can we help there. So I hope that's this answering your question. Is it a screening or diagnostic tool? So for now, I believe it should be treated as a screening tool, as our readings from our, for instance, the readings from blood pressure cannot be used solely for making any diagnosis. And even with the medical certification, we are not intend to be a medical device that actually diagnose hypertension. Yeah, this will be a device that provides measurement results. So similarly to the traditional blood pressure monitor, it doesn't say a person is having hypertension. A professional needs to do, but it's saying like what is the reading of the blood pressure. Oh, that's I think for you, Leo.
About the health coaches on the platform, we are currently we don't, but we are open to be integrated with the health coaching platforms, and we are in fact in talks with one of the big ones. So that's where we are.
Okay.
And also, I see there is another question from Andrew about how many users are currently using Shen AI and Hatter AI. I can answer for Hattery. So we have over 25,000 downloads and 15,000 active users, and we are topping the well, at least the day before yesterday, we were topping the US App Store on search blood pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, is this like a question needs to be treated together? Maybe so. You were saying before that 40% of users using Russian AI in the app.
Yes, definitely. It's by far our most popular feature, and that's why I'm really grateful to you, Remy.
Yeah, so I think like even so, like because like we do technology which is like an SDK, right? So it doesn't operate on its own. Like it's actually helping such companies like Hatchery and such applications to even to actually improve the value of the product, to provide the data that can be actually useful in many different places, as we have been talking before.
Yeah, I can see the question from Philip, and my heart bleeds when I read this question. Is Hattery available only on iOS? I would love to do it for Android. Of course, we have developed it in a way that it will be easy to make the Android version. I will do it the first thing I have the money for it.
Okay. So it's like I think it's even like well, you were saying these numbers, and this numbers of users are coming only from one platform. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, well, but now that we're going in public health projects, we will have to do, of course, we will have to do the Android version. So it will have to be for everybody.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you, Dominic, and thank you everyone. I think we answered all of the questions. The recording will be available later with the links. We also encourage you to both download the Hatchery app,
Yes,
which I think Kaya shared the link in the chat, as well. To try our technology either from inside the Hatchery, which is installed in there, or from our demo that is available on our website. So that's it. Thank you everyone for participating, and it was a pleasure to have you here. Yes, have a good
Thank you everyone.
evening.